everybody, and welcome to Taking Control, the ADHD podcast on rashpixel.fm. I'm Pete Wright. Right over there, on time, standing up, is Nikki Kinzer.
In my makeshift, stand-up desk, yes.
You need a real stand-up desk, Nikki Kinzer.
I really do, because it's crates. It's a big Hershey's box from Costco. And then stacked up, I should probably take a picture. It's pretty funny. It's stacked up with 3 boxes with my iPad in front of me and my microphone. Yeah, but it works. I'm telling you, I love standing up and talking.
Oh, standing up is the best.
Yeah.
The best. The time course is out. People are in it. How do you feel?
Wonderful.
Yes, you do.
On time. I'm estimating time well.
Yes, you are.
My to-do list is still really long, but I'm not taking it personally.
No, you shouldn't. You are not judging yourself at all.
I'm not judging myself.
You can still jump in to the course. It is a great course. You should check it out. Head over to the website, Take Control ADHD, right there on the homepage. You'll see the image for it. It'll just jump you right into the courses, and you can take a look, see what it's all about. It is a really practical, pragmatic approach to time, specifically with ADHD in mind. And so it's worth your time to take a few minutes to read up on it and join the crew.
And if you have any questions, let me know. You can email me directly at nikki@takecontroladhd.com.
It's out there on the internet.
It's
your
there.
email address.
It is. That's okay.
It's okay.
It's all right.
You don't scare off easily.
Nope.
We're going to be talking about motivation today, questions that come up in your work. How do we motivate ourselves to do the things we need to do and get them done? Before we do that, head over to takecontroladhd.com to get to know us a little bit better. Listen to the show, of course, on the website, or subscribe to the mailing list. That is the very best way to be reminded that there's a new show each week. If you don't want to hassle with all the podcast apps that are out there, connect with us on Twitter and Facebook at Take Control ADHD, and call us. You can leave us a voicemail at 503-664-4ADD and get your questions on this show. We would love to hear from you. In fact, just next week is a Q&A episode. We're going to take some of these questions that have been stacking up and talk about them on the show, and that'll be our big episode 300. And that
that was good. Nice job.
Well, thank you. That's what I do when I'm alone. So that's going to be your chance to get your questions on the show. Please send them in to us any way you want to do it. Again, Take Control ADHD on Facebook or Twitter, or 503-664-4ADD. Or
email me directly.
Yep. You know the email address. Thank you so much. We can't wait.
And I got to tell you, this is not just questions about time management or organizing or ADHD. If you have a question specifically for, what is Pete's favorite color or what is my favorite dessert, send those in too. If you want to know something about us that, we haven't shared yet, I would love to dig into some of that stuff too. So it might be kind of fun.
Goodness. I don't even know what to make of this.
I know.
This is a grand experiment.
That's
what this
so
is.
Yeah,
all right.
Please send those in. Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about motivation. Where did this come from?
Well, it came actually, the inspiration came from a question that I had received from one of my webinars that I did for the time course. And it was from a high school student who I actually do, just to kind of put it out there, I don't actually coach high school students. I specialize, if I can get that word out, in adults and college students. But I was really happy to have her on the webinar, and she had these great questions about homework. And one of the questions that she asked was, how do I get motivated to do my homework? And I have had other clients ask me, how do I get motivated to do my housework? How do I even motivate myself to do my to-do list, right? Because here it is. It's 20 pages long, and I just can't motivate myself to get anything done.
Yeah.
So, motivation is kind of a tricky word, because the first response from me when I was talking to the gal on the webinar was, there isn't really anything magical that I can tell her that's just going to all of a sudden get her motivated to do her work. You're not just going to all of a sudden wake up and think, I'm so excited to clean the house. I cannot wait to clean that bathroom, right? I mean, it just doesn't happen. So I thought, okay, well, let's look at what motivation means. So I did a little Google search, right? Because we love the internet.
That's what we do, the Google.
Yes, that's what we do. And so I found 2 definitions. One is that motivation is the reason one has for acting or behaving in a certain way. So I see this as being, okay, there's some kind of benefit there for you, right? A child might behave at the restaurant because if they do, they know they're going to get dessert. So they want to act a certain way to get something. And this motivates them to be rewarded. Well, I talk about motivation quite a bit, like in my organizing online course. Actually, all my courses, I shouldn't even say any one specific. And all of my online courses, I talk about motivation because it is important to understand if you're going to change something in your life or you need to work on a routine or a new system, there does have to be some motivation behind it, right? We have to have some kind of benefit. Otherwise, really, what's the point in doing it?
Yeah, right.
Right. And now the other definition is the general desire or willingness of someone to do something. And I see this as being kind of more of that internal feeling, that more, I'm going to be motivated to work out this morning because I've already lost weight this week. And I'm feeling great. And so I want to keep this going. I want to keep the momentum going. So you may feel a little more motivated to work out that day, right? Because you're already seeing results. Like it's feeling good. So that motivation is sort of momentum that you're building.
That's the one that's more dangerous.
Yeah, because you have to get the good feeling first.
Yeah, and because it works the other way. Right? Like I could say I'm not motivated to work out because I haven't lost any weight this week. So what's the point in doing it? I think I need to go to a movie. And that is the exact same thing. You already have motivation that's taking you,
down
in the wrong way. Yeah.
In the wrong way. Absolutely.
And that's, it's the same thing as for students. What motivates you to do your homework? If you don't get grades that are, that you feel good about, right? Then that is essentially that same negative stimulus, right? It's that negative motivation. What's the point in studying so hard? I can't seem to get good grades on these tests anyway, so I need to go to another party or something like that. You know what I mean? Like it's motivating once you get that first, that first grade that you're really, really proud of. That's motivating to study, even more.
Well, and you bring up a really interesting point because I just had a discussion with a college student recently about this because she had tried some new strategies to study and she felt like they were really helping her, but she only got a C on the test. And it's exactly what you just explained. It's like she felt so bad, like, well, why even do these things, if I'm still going to get a C? And a C was actually better than what she had been getting. So there was improvement. I mean, there was a huge amount of improvement. So as her coach, I think first of all, I wanted to acknowledge her trying something different and giving it the effort that she gave and that it wasn't useless, that it did help her. And, to still be proud of the work that she did because she still got a C, which was still passing. And she worked hard for that, and so not to minimize that, okay, I didn't get an A, so it wasn't good enough. No, you did great, So anyway, when you were saying that, it kind of reminded me of that situation because it is easy to give up on it.
Yeah. And that's that reminder. Like if you put your measure of success on this external judgment, then you have, it's almost like you're celebrating or being judged or motivated by negatively the wrong thing, right?
Right.
If you can change the thing that motivates you from I only want A's to did I actually learn something here that I'm going to be able to apply tomorrow, that I'm going to be able to use in the career that I'm choosing, that I'm going to be able to use even the next time I play Trivial Pursuit? Like, did I learn something or achieve something or work to my level of standard, even if this external professor, says this didn't meet my standard as the professor? Did I, as the student, actually do something I'm proud of or accomplish?
Absolutely.
Did I go for a run not because I lose weight, but because I know that what's happening inside my body is my heart is getting stronger.
Right.
And,
and it's feeling
getting
good.
that much stronger because I'm running with more weight on me. Good for me.
Right. Yeah.
Don't ever say that because that doesn't work either. I take it back immediately. Anyway, you were saying, I'm sorry.
In one of my coaching groups, I brought up the zombie run again. still
because
laugh
it's
every
brilliant.
time I think about that. The zombie run. You're going to have to put that in the notes. So anybody that didn't hear that episode, there's this app about like, what are you doing? You're just jogging, like, you know, minding your own business. And then all of a sudden in your ears, the zombies are coming and you have to run as fast as you can.
And you'll get this thing. There are a number of them now, and there are some that give you like little motivations, like you just have to get around the next corner, and then you can get to the safe house and pick up some food and medical supplies, and then you'll hear it behind you. Oh no, a horde of zombies is coming from behind you! Run faster, run faster! And so it like coaches you to run intervals. Because you're being chased by zombies.
That is making exercise fun.
Yeah.
That is a motivation right there, is to listen to Zombie Run. I mean, and I still imagine somebody on Main Street, which is close to where I live, and it's a main street. That's why it's called Main Street. But you know, it's busy, right? So I can just imagine like driving down the road and seeing somebody like casually running and then speeding up as fast as they can.
Totally.
I don't know why that cracks me up, but every single time I bring it up, I can't not stop laughing. But all right, going back.
One. I don't mean to totally hijack this, but there's another one called superhero workouts, like the 7-minute superhero workout or something. And so you're looking at your phone, and you normally would have to punch or do abdominal crunches or something, but instead you're looking at your phone. It's like missiles are coming at you, and you have to punch them out of the sky, and you have to punch them just the right way. Yeah, no, I'm not kidding.
What's that called?
It's like the 7-minute superhero workout.
Okay, put that in the notes because I want to check that out. That would be fun. I want to get the missiles before they attack me.
Great ones. The company is 6 to start. They started at Zombie Run, but they have another one, The Walk. It's like a fitness tracker and another game where you walk along and you get little missions along the way on your actual map, right?
That's
so
awesome.
You walk in the real world to move in the game.
Oh, it's like the what's that really popular game where people would like run into cars because they were paying attention. They were trying to find those little things.
Pokemon Go.
Yeah, it's like Pokemon Go.
Don't do that. Anyway,
you know what? Okay.
Nikki, what?
No. I have one more thing to say. So if anybody listened, I think it was our last episode, we were talking about the tennis balls. So we should totally like have some kind of app where you're getting tossed tennis balls at you. Remember when we were talking about the tennis balls? Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
And you're trying to dodge them.
Can
you imagine it? Yeah. All right, moving on. Sorry, folks.
You were saying?
Motivation. So, you know, something else that we have to think about when we're talking about motivation, specifically with ADHD, is you have to remember how your mind is wired. Because if you are really engaged in something, then motivation is not going to be an issue, right? You're going to be motivated to do it. You can do it all day long. So it's the stuff that when you ask the question, you know, how do I motivate myself to do this? Then it's probably not something you want to do, right? Mm-hmm. And so it's not doing anything is really not a great strategy, because we know what that can turn into is a lot of avoidance and shame and feeling bad and things don't get done. So what I would suggest is not ask the question on how to get motivated necessarily, but start asking the question of how you can make this happen. How can you actually work around this? Because the motivation isn't going to just all of a sudden come if it's not there in the first place. One of the things that we have to do is push aside a limiting belief that many folks are probably hanging on to, and they don't even know that they're doing it. And that is that they can't start things, that they feel like, I just can't do this. I can't get motivated enough. And again, that's putting the pressure on them and the blame on them. And so what I want people to start thinking is not that limiting belief, but change it to, okay, what are my options here? Like, I know this sucks. Like, I know this is not going to be fun, but what are my options? Like, how can I make this better? Mm-hmm. And really start to turn that inner dialogue into something that is more empowering. Like, okay, I've got this situation, but I've got to figure it out. And remember, you're not doing anything wrong. It's the way your brain is wired. It's, you can't expect yourself to be motivated to do homework if you really just don't want to do it. And this is where the ADHD strategies and what we've talked about in the past, this is where the scaffolding works, right? This is when you have to rely on these things to help you get started. Okay, so I've got some options for people to think about. One is to really identify what's getting in your way, because each situation is different. You not wanting to do homework is very different than what is stopping you from cleaning your house, right? So you got to kind of figure out what's stopping me. Why am I not motivated? Am I overwhelmed? Am I just tired? Maybe this just isn't a good day to do it. Maybe I do it tomorrow, or is it too complicated? We have to really kind of start thinking about what's happening specifically rather than just being really broad and saying, I'm not motivated about, for anything. Like, let's figure that out.
Right.
Yeah. And then you can be a little bit more strategic about your strategy. Isn't that quite the sentence?
It is a great sentence. I want to be strategic about my strategy too.
I know, right? That sounds really intense. So now, of course, with homework, specifically, there's a deadline, right? Usually there's a deadline of something. So you are going to be under some kind of pressure. Deadlines are fantastic because they are what get us moving, whether we're motivated or not. If there's a deadline and you want to pass this class, you're going to get that in. If you have a work project and your boss and everybody on your team is expecting you to have this, you're going to get that in. And that's usually when the adrenaline kicks in. And we had a really interesting conversation not too long ago in my coaching group where one particular member was okay with working under that adrenaline. Like, he knew that he could get his stuff done and it didn't bother him. Where I had another member of the group where it was really stressful for her to wait for the last minute. So again, it's like trying to figure out how you work best, and not feeling bad about if adrenaline is motivating you. Like, it doesn't have to be a bad thing. But if it is, then again, what's the scaffolding that you need to have to build around that?
Well, and how are you being clear with any other stakeholders in your work that, hey, you're not going to see this thing a week before it's due because I can't work that way.
Right.
But, it'll be 2 days before it's due or the day before it's due, and it'll be finised.
And you're going to get it, and it's going to be great. Yeah. That clear communication is really important. Right. Now, something about cleaning that I just want to talk about is don't let perfection get in your way when you're trying to just pick up the house or whatever, or an organization in general, right? I always talk about how organizing is not about perfection. It's the same thing with doing chores. Like, people beat themselves up so much because, their house is dirty or their dishes aren't being done. And what is a better way to do this? And I think that, again, it's that shift of, it's not about perfection. Just get it to where it's good enough. What is your tolerance level? Because I'm okay with leaving the dishes, at night. I'm not okay with having the dishes spill over from the sink into the counter and onto the table. And, we're eating plastic forks, which we have done. So, what is your tolerance? And I have one, and I'm there right now.
Tolerance.
Yeah, I'm there right now because after I'm done recording, I have to go clean my dirty house. So,
oh geez.
Because it got, it's bad when the 14-year-old says, Mom, we really need to have an all house clean. This is starting to bug me. I'm like, I know. I get it. So anyway.
Go talk to your father.
I know, right? Yeah. That's going to do any good, Pete. Yeah, okay. Right. So anyway, going on. Moving on. So anyway, getting to the point that's good enough. Now, with homework and work projects, I'm a big believer. You want to do your best work. I totally get that. I don't want to send a online course out to you folks and not have it be, as perfect as possible. I mean, I totally understand that pressure. But at the same time, don't let that stop you from getting started. You got to get started in the process and work through those fears and work through everything that it takes to produce something that you're trying to do for work, whatever it is. If you don't start, then that's when the adrenaline is stress and anxiety and not helpful. Okay, so then my other suggestion would be, and this is very common, is to just break down whatever it is that you're avoiding into smaller chunks. So that could either be time intervals where you're just doing something for 10 minutes and then you go play for 10 minutes. And you can go back and forth between working and playing and working and playing. Just make sure you set an alarm so that you keep track of your time and that, the time is in front of you.
That's an important safety tip.
It really is.
Yeah.
Setting the alarm is really important because you do have to be aware of the time.
Yeah.
But it's so much easier to dig into something for just 10 minutes and then go do something fun. And something that I do with my house is I will just choose a specific space and I'll say, okay, I'm going to vacuum and dust my office. And then I'm going to go do something else like fun. That's not, cleaning. And that's what I'm going to do today. So, and then I'm going to do the dining room. So I kind of chunk it up by space too. Yeah. And, I hope to get the house done today, but I probably won't. I'll probably have to do it, in the next couple of days, but that's okay. I'm not hard on myself. I'm just going to get it done when I get it done. And I'm going to recruit my family to help me. So that's good.
That's good.
Okay. It's not all going to be on me. All right. My last tip is whatever task you're avoiding or that you want to be motivated around, somehow try to engage in it in a way that's more positive. So that could be listening to music. It could be listening to us or your, other podcasts, these zombie runs, all of these things that we were talking about, that makes it fun. I mean, something that you can do just to kind of make it a little bit more engaging is going to be better. It's going to work with your ADHD and not so far against it. So be creative, play your own zombie game. Maybe I'll do that today. Wouldn't that be fun?
Zombie clean.
I'm going to clean the kitchen as fast as I can.
Nikki, there are zombies behind the refrigerator.
Exactly. I'm going to do that. I'll let you guys know
that's
how it
fantastic.
goes. Yeah. So there you go.
It. Yes, this is great. This is all good stuff about helping you to recover your motivation and create a never-ending fount of enthusiasm for what is ahead of you in the day. How about that?
Yeah, I love that. Recover your motivation.
Yes.
That's good.
Recover it. It's there. This is good stuff. Thank you, everybody, for downloading and listening to this show. We sure appreciate it. Don't forget, get those questions in. Anything you want to know, apparently. Anything you want to know, according to Nikki Kinzer, is on deck for next week. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks on behalf of Nikki Kinzer. I'm Pete Wright. Thanks for your time and attention downloading and listening to this show. We'll catch you next week right here on Taking Control, the ADHD podcast.